Sometimes life takes you down a path you never imagined, a path filled with darkness, fear, and loneliness. I never thought marriage would feel like a prison, but it did. Until one day, someone came to save me. My name is Aisha. When I got married, I was full of dreams. I imagined a loving husband, a caring family, and a home filled with warmth. But what I stepped into was something else entirely. On the first night in my new home, my mother-in-law made it clear I wasn't a daughter to her. I was a servant. You will wake up before everyone, cook, clean, and obey. This is not your father's house anymore, she said coldly. My husband, Rehan, sat silently, never defending me. Days turned into weeks, and the abuse only grew worse. My father-in-law never spoke a kind word to me. My sister-in-law would humiliate me in front of guests, treating me like I was nothing. I cooked all day, but I ate last. I was never allowed to visit my parents. My phone was taken away. If I ever complained, I was told, "This is how a good wife lives." One evening, I was too sick to stand. I begged my husband to take me to a doctor. Instead, his mother shouted, "She is pretending! She is lazy!" Rehan believed her. He turned to me and said, "Stop embarrassing us!" That night, I cried myself to sleep on the cold floor. And then, one day, it got worse. My sister-in-law accused me of stealing her gold bracelet. I had never touched it, but no one listened. They dragged me by my hair, locked me in a room, and left me without food for 2 days. I started to believe this was my fate, that I was meant to suffer. But deep inside, a small voice whispered, "No, this is not where your story ends." One evening, as I lay weak on the floor, there was a loud knock at the door. My heart raced. Who could it be? My brother? My parents? Number, it was someone I never expected. A man named Zayan, my husband's childhood friend. He had heard rumors about my suffering. He looked at me, thin, bruised, broken. "This is not right," he said, his voice shaking with anger. He turned to Rehan. "If you can't protect her, you don't deserve her." For the first time, someone stood up for me. He called my parents. He threatened to report them to the police. My in-laws panicked. My father arrived furious and heartbroken. And just like that, I was free. The first deep breath of fresh air outside that house felt unreal. I was finally free, but I was also broken. It took months of healing, therapy, and love to rebuild myself. And Zayan, he didn't just save me that night. Over time, he became my closest friend, and eventually, the man who truly loved me. Today, I stand tall, not as a victim, but as a survivor. If you are trapped in a cruel home, remember this: there is always a way out. Someone out there will help you. You are not alone. And to those who have suffered like me, listen closely. You are stronger than you think. Never let anyone dim your lights.